I just got back from work, and I was like, okay, it's time to watch RWBY. I went to go watch that. I was like, damn, Rooster Teeth, you did it, Rooster Teeth. You did. This was probably the best lore episode ever. It probably is. And I know I said the same thing about the best episode ever with Index, but I can't help myself. This episode actually was 26 minutes long. Like, damn. Usually the episodes aren't that long until towards the end of the volume. But nah, man, we got a special treat on episode 3, man. Dang. Okay, let's calm down. Let's calm down, everybody. Let's calm down. We got a lot to talk about with this lore that we just been full told here. And it's just, wow, man. It's just, some of the things that people have been talking about, like the other legends, like Fro, Pyrrha, and Oz have been talking about, most of it comes together. It really does. And I know some people and some channels have been saying how there's too much tales going on, but then again, they're all connected in some way. And this episode explains it in a very well detailed explanation. Okay, you know, we heard the thing about the crow, the two brothers that were the gods that created this world. One is god of light, one god of destruction. They're brothers, you know, they'll fight now and then, disagree, but in the day they will look out for each other and do what must be done for the sake of balance for the universe. So Salem was a very, very powerful person who was for some reason locked up in her tower. I don't know why. Maybe her father was strict. It really made no sense why she was just locked up for some reason. Maybe the father knew how powerful she was. Who knows? All we do know is that Ozma, which is his original name from Ozpin, went to go save her. Okay, he was the first hero. You could call him the first hero in a way. And he saved her. That was probably the first mistake he made. He didn't do it out of love. He was doing it for the sake of justice. Okay, so it makes you wonder, why was Salem really locked up in that tower in the first place? You know, it's just, that kept going back through my mind, like, why? But nonetheless, they escaped and they fell in love. Okay, it's good, but he fell to illness. Okay, that happens, you know. You be strong, nothing can beat you, and it's very ironic how you don't die on a battlefield or fighting someone, but you die because of an illness. I guess I'd rather have that than die on a battlefield, you know. You have time to prepare when you're about to die because of illness, at least. That makes more sense, you know. So, the reason all this happened was selfishness. That's all it was. Everyone was being selfish. Mostly humans. Salem was being selfish, withholding knowledge, and Ozpin, he wasn't being selfish, but he was withholding knowledge, you know. Salem was using those two brothers to go against each other, and those were gods, man. She was able to trick gods for crying out loud, and since she was able to trick gods, and humans are just a small fraction of what their creators are, so the gods can be easily tricked. Imagine what you can do with humans, you know? And so that makes a lot of sense how Salem was able to manipulate people and show her power, how she wasn't able to die, you know? And she caused the end of humanity, when you think about it, you know? When she caused the end of humanity, she was the only human left. Well, I guess you can't call her human no more. She's an immortal. So she thought going into the black goo, the fountain of Grimm, would help her die. But no, instead, it gave her this never-ending lust for destruction. So she started going out creating Grimm and stuff. So the Grimm existed way before Salem and them were born, you know. It was the god of destruction, the god of darkness, own creation, in a way. I guess he wanted to create his own creatures, but he kind of failed at it because the creatures only seek to destroy, and when they do die, they just disappear. So he wasn't really like the god of light, in a way. Okay, now that makes some sense here. So, despite all that, Salem was causing ruckus when the gods left. And when the gods left, I loved how they showed how they didn't even care, they just left. They destroyed the moon. They destroyed a fraction of the moon. So it was like, really? That's the reason why the moon looks so effed up? It's because they decided just to beam out of here, not even caring where they're going? Okay, so yes. So apparently humanity was an experiment. It was an experiment to see if you can take destruction and creation, put it together and see what happens. And so far things were going good until they start using their gifts for other things. This happens a lot where people get something new and they cherish it, and as time goes on, they kind of turn their backs against it. So yeah, that's another thing that is very relatable to humanity as a whole. Besides that, there was also why. I remember when Osmo was first explaining why he's like this, it was because he said it was his fault. But no, none of this was Ozpin's fault at all. None of it. You know, like, everything that happened was because of Salem. Nothing. Ozpin died, and speaking of died, even before he was being reincarnated, the guy was dying back and forth. And that one part where she asked the god of darkness to bring him back, he's back, then he dies, and he's back, and he dies again and again. I'm like, I know he's going like, what the fuck, man? Why do I keep dying and coming back? That's crazy, man. But so he explains that, like, let's just choose him, you know. They decided, let's just choose Ozpin to clean up this mess, stop Salem. I don't know why they couldn't just take Salem's immortality away from her, you know. That would have made a lot more sense. Or they just couldn't do it. So anyways, now we have more explanation of what these relics are for. You know, we have 4 relics. You know, we have the one of knowledge, the one of choice, creation, and destruction. Bringing all relics together, and you get yourselves, the gods come back, and they'll judge whether or not humanity is redeemable. If not, they'll probably destroy humanity as a whole, like completely destroy the planet. Who knows? And speaking of that, it also made me wonder, what are the gods doing right now? Could the gods going off creating other planets? Could it be making other creatures, or they're just flying through space? Who knows? There could be more of them. Who knows? I'm just thinking right here. A lot of possibilities with these gods and these stories. You know, lore like that, being well told, can be you can really expand it if you want to, in a way. Now, let's get back to Ozpin and Salem. They found each other, they were happy. They had 4 kids. 4 kids. Wow, way to go, Ozpin. This explains the 4 maidens, in a way, you know. Because no one else had magic, you know. The only thing that was left of magic was the dust. And I believe the dust came from the moon. When the gods left the planet and they shot through the moon, what was left of the moon, the fragments of the moon, came to Earth. And they were probably affected by the gods' power. And so because of that, who knows, maybe years, I'm just guessing here. And they like grew the Earth in a way when the Earth was starting to recreate itself, because humanity was coming back along with Faunaces. I wish they explained how Faunaces came along. That would have been better, you know. But you know, you can't have everything. But hopefully they'll explain how the Faunaces came along. That'll be very interesting to see. Now back to the maidens. I guess in a way the maidens they didn't explain what happened to the maidens. They were little kids, and Ozpin pretty much told Salem what happened. So they started to, you know, attack each other. He was about to run the children, but they fought, and I think the children died. The children died. So the question is, will we get more lore of this? Like, will there be more of this? Like, where does the children coming from? So now we know that the 4 maidens were probably originally the essence of Osborn's children. That could be it. Who knows? But it's a possibility. I'm just stretching out here. Then yet again, he said he met the maidens, he gave them the powers. So maybe then he probably gave those 4 women that helped him bring him back his hope, gave him the powers that reminded him of his children. Who knows? That's probably why the maidens came in the first place. It's because the 4 girls he saw that day that brought him out the house, and since they gave him so much hope, in return they gave him his powers to help him defeat Salem. So with that being said, all that's really left now is learning more about the Silver Eyes, you know, where the RWBY comes into this and all that. Like, what's up with the Silver Eyes or anything? We don't know nothing about Silver Eyes. All we know is that they glow. They light up the room. That's it. You know, nothing else. So, yeah, man, this episode was just... Yo, I was hooked. I gotta admit, I was hooked. It was well told, nicely paced, great animation. I love the texture on the CG now, man. You know, it doesn't just feel like that college project, you know, you see in those community college projects. They don't look like that. They look really nice. So you can tell Rooster Teeth is really pulling out all the stops for RWBY, and it's good to see that. So yeah, man, I was excited about this episode, man. I was excited to come home and see it, but I didn't expect this, man. This was really good. So anyways, like I got for this video, I hope you guys are enjoying that episode of RWBY. That was really good. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please rate, comment, subscribe, and also hit the bell icon so you get notified every time I upload. This has been Madcrownxox, signing out. Have a good one.